Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk with immigration attorney Brian D. Lerner. Uh, in this particular episode, I would like to talk about a couple things in general because, as you know, we are approaching the end of the year. It's almost going to be 2014, at least as of now. You might be watching this video at some later point, some later year, but as of now, it is approaching the end of the year. Congress is out of session, and still yet we do not have immigration reform. However, I wanted to first wish everybody happy holidays, happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, all of the particular holidays that you may celebrate at this time of year, and to hope that you are with your friends and family and are able to be somewhat happy at this time of year. But if you happen to be some of those people who have either been kicked out of the country, you've been deported, and you're trying to get back and you're separated from your family, or you are in detention at this time of year, which makes it worse than it is other times. Not that it's ever good, but I wanted to give you my thoughts on a ray of hope that you may have. I have a lot of clients, not just in the U.S., but many times in different parts of the world, that have been deported and or again are in detention, or they're even in deportation proceedings, or for whatever reason they left the country to apply for the green card and they were not permitted back in, and they're at a loss and they're without hope. Some of them have been gone for many years. Some of them have tried to enter again illegally. And so the reason I make this video is because, being an expert in immigration law, working in it for over 20 years, I can see all different kinds of ways of helping people. The immigration law, believe it or not, has lots of ways to give people different chances, second chances, third chances, whatever it is. But they don't sit there and broadcast it, okay? It is up to you, the person applying for it, to apply for whatever it is you might qualify for. And now, as an immigration attorney, with many years of experience, a lot of the laws are what I call in the gray, meaning that there can be legal arguments made as to why you may or may not, but primarily why you may qualify for something, or why, for example, a charge against you, for example, for as an aggravated felon might not be the case. It is this fighting the unfair laws, the tearing apart the statutory language of both the Immigration and Nationality Act as well as any criminal statute you might have been convicted under, looking under every rock, making sure that everything is placed in front of, at least when I'm giving the consultation, is placed in front of me so that I can see a path that might be able to help you. Now, I'm not going to, sit here and tell you it's a piece of cake, slam dunk, no problem, easy type of case, especially if you've already been deported and you have different crimes and, there might be other issues as well. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and tell you it's easy, okay, because it's not. But, if you're outside, for example, if you're outside the United States and your kids are growing up without you, you see your spouse maybe once a month or once every 2 weeks, whatever it is, for 3-4 hours, whatever it happens to be, you want to fight your case, okay? You want to try and win. You want to try to come back. And I see case after case where the people will see other less experienced immigration attorneys that will say, wait for immigration reform, or there's nothing we can do, or sorry but no thanks, okay? And so if you're willing to at least give the consultation to hear what can be done and to understand that it's not going to be easy, but that there are ways normally to help somebody come back, then there is hope for you, for your family, for your friends, for those people in those situations upon which they despair as being the finale, the end. Okay. Um, Even if I were to tell you there's only a 10% chance, which I don't, I never say what the percentage is because I don't know what's in the mind of an immigration official or immigration judge or the appellate agency. But even if I were to say there's that percent chance, most people would take it. They would take it because it's either that or nothing, okay? And what I'm trying to convey is in many cases it's more than that in reality, because immigration law, honestly, it's like a puzzle that has 10,000 pieces, okay? And while you're learning immigration law, meaning the attorney, they may learn, 100 pieces here, 100 pieces there, but only after you see the whole picture and learn every nook and cranny of the immigration law can you actually see the whole picture and determine what paths somebody might be able to go down and to be creative. Okay, there's definitely room in immigration law for creative lawyering, and that is where or the person who has been outside the country for all of these years, are able to eventually come back and be with your family. I understand that sometimes people make mistakes with crimes and so forth, and sometimes something they did 25 years ago affects them now because that's when immigration deports them. It catches up, and boom, before you know it, they might have even signed a voluntary deportation. Sometimes people who don't qualify for consulate processing leave the country expecting to come back with their green card only to find out that a waiver should have been done. Okay, so it would save years of heartache and it would save lots of time, at least to get a consultation from an expert immigration attorney who knows what they're doing. Now, I've given a little discussion about hope, and I can't go into all the different paths that that might entail. Just suffice it to say that in most cases that come through my door, there is a path that person is eligible for in order to try to resolve the situation. Now, what about immigration reform? Well, as most of you know, it did pass the Senate, a comprehensive immigration reform bill, and it just died in the House. John Boehner publicly said he wants to do it piecemeal, which I'm kind of amazed that a politician would say that, because doing it piecemeal is sort of what got the current situation the way it is at the present time. There's a need for it. There's a want for it, and if the Senate passed it, certainly congressional representatives know that that is the case. So, what gives us some hope that immigration reform will pass in 2014? Well, as you might know, the government shut down due to some right-wing Republicans, and the fact is that they basically saw what happened, didn't look good, and lost the country about $2 billion. And about a week ago, there was a bipartisan budget bill that was passed. There was a bipartisan defense bill which was passed. And it was passed by both parties. They got together, the ones that are interested in making laws and are interested in helping the people, and for the first time in a long time, the budget went forward and the government's not going to shut down, at least based upon this time. So there seems to be an air of cooperation now, because they have seen what happens when there is not, when it just goes off the left edge and nothing gets done. So because of that, the hope is that maybe they will see that immigration reform is also something that should be worked on. And at the end, nobody's going to be 100% happy because clearly nobody gets everything they want. That's what compromise is. So the hope is that in 2014, maybe we will see some compromise on both sides so that a comprehensive immigration reform bill would pass. Now, given that, I would not hold your breath. Okay, so if you do qualify for something else, which again, the whole first part of this video goes into it goes into a discussion of how that might be. You should take it seriously, consider it. But keep in the back of your mind there might also be some reform, but yet we don't know exactly what that will be, when it will be. So what we have now is the present law, and we have to work within the confines of the present law. Now, I've also had a lot of clients who've been here for 15, 20 years, and they think they're safe. They think there's no problem. But I can't tell you how many times somebody gets stopped by it, because of a traffic ticket, and the next thing you know, they're in deportation proceedings. Or they're at the wrong place at the wrong time. Or ICE comes to somebody's apartment to nab somebody else and ask for ID of everyone, and boom, you get caught. So if you happen to be here, while you're here, if you have the opportunity to get a consultation from an immigration attorney, you should take that opportunity. You should go forward and find out what can be done, and you should have it done and started while you are here and while you're not in detention and while you're not being deported. Okay? It makes a whole lot better sense to do it that way than if you're thrown out of the country, although again, I can help you in that case also. So, the new year's coming. New ray of hope. Keep in mind that there's very few cases that have no hope whatsoever. Immigration law, in some respects, if you know where to look for it, is forgiving and can be done. Not easily, but it can be done. So, if you like my videos, go ahead and click like, subscribe. I put out videos about once a week, and then we'll go on more subjects as time goes on. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.